Hello pole friends, this is Jasmine, owner of Dance Rebellion and Fitness, and I'm going to do a tutorial for you today on a trick called the Matrix. I told some polers that I would do this like several years ago and I never got around to it, so while we're all quarantined, I figured I'd do a few tutorials for everybody. So this one's called the Matrix. I'm going to show you first what it looks like, and then I will break it down. This trick doesn't take a whole lot of flexibility, even though it looks like it, but just to be safe, definitely warm up your shoulders, your hip flexors, and your back. I like to stretch my back bends. That's just because I'm older and I don't want to get hurt, but the trick itself is not a back bend, it's actually a tabletop. So another warm up is this, because this is what you're actually holding in the air. It's just that your feet and arms are closer together. So when you're doing that stretch, you really want to open your chest, push through your hands and your feet. So you're trying to free your chest from your shoulders. Push through the hands and the feet. And I like to rock back and forth. And that's the same position that you're holding in the air. So I'm going to show you a version from the floor that you can practice first so you can feel what's going to happen with the hips. Because once you get the prep and once you know your points of contact and what's happening, really the only thing that you have to focus on is your hips going from here to here. So you can feel that on the floor, without having to go in the air. So to start, you're going to be doing a Chinese split up to here. Your top hand is coming off the pole and it's going to wrap around your top leg and grab. And then you're going to bring your top foot off the pole and hook your ankle, similar to a starfish. So you can do that in any order. You can hook your ankle and then wrap around, or you can hook your, just bring your leg up and then wrap your arm and then hook your foot, whichever one you prefer. So once you get to here, I wrap my arm, I hook my ankle. From here, I'm gonna bend the bottom leg and I'm taking off this bottom hand. So the trick is, you're going from here and you wanna push your hips forward and reach around with this back hand and grab to come to here. To clarify what I mean when I say hip transfer, I just wanna show you. So when you start on this side from your starting position, what I mean by hip transfer is right now my hips and legs are on this side of the pole and I want to try to push my hips to the other side. So in order to do that, this knee, you have to bring it to the other side of the pole and it's going to turn a bit to the floor. And then I'm able to push through the bottom and reach around to push my hips to the other side. So the transfer is first the top knee coming to this side and then the hips, okay? So you're starting on this side, the hips must transfer to the other side. First the knee, then push the hips. Before you take it up onto the pole, just a couple more tips. First, make sure you fully commit to the hip transfer, because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to do it, number one, and number two, it's probably gonna hurt. Like it hurts my ankle skin, kind of tears on my hip flexor when I don't fully commit to that switch of the hips. So make sure you're ready to do that, number one. Number two, when you're doing it on the floor, the only thing that doesn't feel similar to on the pole is the bottom foot. So the bottom foot's not doing a whole lot when it's on the floor. When it's on the pole, you're definitely gonna feel it a lot more. You really need it. And at the very end, just to get a better bend, a better back bend and a better angle, I like to lift my bottom foot just a little bit and it gives me a better push. So that's the second thing. Make sure, just like the tabletop stretch from the beginning, that you're pushing through your feet and pushing through your hands. Actively pushing the pole, feet and hands, and pushing your hips out. So I actually lost this trick for a little bit, and it took me a little bit to get it back. So I have another helpful little progression that you can do aerial to help you get the Matrix. So I'm going to show you that next. So starting aerial, again, you're in Chinese split. Here, coming up. So when I'm in the air, I like to get my body right in the middle of my legs and have a 90-degree perpendicular angle to the pole. So I pull up to here. So my head and torso are almost just at a straight 90-degree angle, pointed straight into the pole. And then I'll go ahead, place my top hand and my top ankle. So from here, you might want to just get comfortable here if you feel like you need to. And then the next step that I do that really helps me get the hips is to go ahead and pull this knee to the other side of the pole. So I'm here. And then this is when I'll lift this bottom foot just a little bit to get a better push, because I'm really pushing in with this foot. So from here, I'm going to let go of the left hand, push through my bottom foot, and push my hips forward at the same time. So I here, and look and reach. So come down, I slide my bottom foot and my bottom hand down, and then just hop. Back to the aerial progression. So what that does is that gets the knee in place for you. That gets the knee to the other side so you're able to push your hips. So again, when we do it in the air, and then eventually you can just bypass this step, but it makes it much easier just to feel it. So when you're in the air, remember, once you get everything set up, before you fully commit, you're gonna come to here. So I'm pulling my pelvis to the pole. I'm using my left hand and right hand to pull to the pole, but when I do that, I want this knee to come to the other side and turn down. So I'm coming to here. Let me show you from another angle. So in the aerial progression, when we start from here, before you commit, we're coming to here. And what this does is gets the knee ready. Gets the knee and the hip turned right so you're able to finish and push your hips. So let's try all that on the pole. Using the aerial progression, I promise it's not that bad. So, Chinese split, rotate. I make my head and torso perpendicular to the pole. Place my top arm, top leg. So now, remember, I'm pulling, pelvis to the pole, knee on the other side and turn down. So now I'm ready to push. So if you want, you can bring the bottom foot up a little bit to get a better push because you're really going to be pushing in with it. At the same time I'm pushing in with the bottom foot, I'm letting go of my left bottom hand, pushing my hips out, and looking and finding the pole with my left hand. So push, look, here. I'm going to show you one more angle. So pull to here, lift the bottom leg, push, and look. When you bypass the pulling to the pole here, you still have to make sure that you get your top knee on the other side and turn. It's just that I do it now with one hand off the pole, so I can make it more of one fluid motion. When you're coming down, what I do when I'm coming down is I will try to put as much of the weight on my arms as possible. So I slide my bottom foot and my bottom hand down and spread it out, and that'll put you in this sort of position. So you'll have a little bit more control with your arms, and you can either hop down and control or come to something like here, or with your top ankle hooked, you can finish here. Again, to control that, I just slide the bottom foot down, slide the bottom hand down so I can get as much weight on my arms as possible. So slide the foot, slide the hand. You can come to here. You can drop to drama queen, whatever you prefer. When I try to bypass that push, pulling your pelvis to the pole, and just try to make it one smooth, fluent motion right into the matrix whenever you feel comfortable. So I will show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you one more time. Good luck, you guys, and stay safe. If you want to tag me on social media, my Instagram is Chef33. I would love to see your posts. direct message me if you have any questions or need any help.